Full spoilers ahead for The Godfather Part II, from beginning to end. This story follows two men who build power in opposite directions. One begins alone, then creates a family around his name. The other inherits that family, then destroys it to stay powerful. In 1901 Sicily, young Vito Andolini walks behind his father's coffin. The local boss Don Ciccio already ordered that father's murder. Vito's older brother promises revenge, so Ciccio's men kill him too. Vito's mother begs Ciccio to spare her last surviving son. Ciccio refuses because the boy might grow up and seek revenge. Vito's mother threatens Ciccio, giving her child time to escape. She dies, but villagers hide Vito and send him toward America. At Ellis Island, an official mistakes Corleone for Vito's surname. Smallpox leaves him quarantined, staring alone at the Statue of Liberty. Then the film jumps forward to Nevada in the year 1958. Vito is dead, and his son Michael now leads the family. Michael hosts a grand party for his son's first communion. Outside, guests dance beside Lake Tahoe under bright paper lanterns. Inside, Michael listens to people who want favors from the Don. Senator Geary demands a huge bribe for a casino license. Michael rejects the insult and promises the senator will pay instead. Old Lieutenant Frankie Pentangeli arrives with a more dangerous problem. New York rivals called the Rosado brothers are attacking his territory. Pentangeli blames Hyman Roth, an elderly gangster working with Michael. Michael wants Roth's Cuban casino deal, so he refuses open war. That decision makes Pentangeli feel abandoned by his own family. Michael's brother Fredo is also embarrassed during the celebration. Fredo cannot control his drunken wife or command anyone's respect. Michael's sister Connie arrives asking money for another careless marriage. Michael lectures her, certain that authority can repair every broken bond. That night, Michael looks at a drawing made by his son. Suddenly, gunfire tears through the bedroom windows beside the lake. Michael shields his wife Kay while bullets rip across the room. Both survive, but the hidden shooters are found dead outside. Someone close knew the house, the guards, and Michael's private bedroom. Michael tells Tom Hagen that nobody else can be trusted. He leaves Tom in charge while he searches for the traitor. The story now returns to New York in the year 1917. Adult Vito lives quietly with his wife and their baby son. He works in a grocery store owned by his friend Jenko's father. Local extortionist Don Fanucci forces the shopkeeper to hire his nephew. The shopkeeper sadly dismisses Vito, who accepts the loss with dignity. A neighbor named Clemenza asks Vito to hide a bag of guns. Vito says nothing, proving he knows when silence protects a friend. Clemenza rewards him by stealing a rich family's carpet with him. The strange little crime becomes Vito's doorway into organized theft. Back in 1958, Michael visits Roth in a modest Miami home. Michael lies that Pentangeli ordered the Tahoe attack against him. Roth calmly approves killing Pentangeli and continues discussing Cuba. Next, Michael visits Pentangeli and tells him the opposite story. He says Roth arranged the shooting and asks Pentangeli to appear loyal. Michael is using both men as bait while hiding his real suspicion. Pentangeli meets the Rosado brothers inside a New York bar. One brother begins strangling him and says Michael sends his regards. A police officer interrupts, leaving Pentangeli wounded but alive. Federal agents quietly take him away and prepare him as a witness. Meanwhile, Michael travels to Havana with $2 million promised. Roth imagines casinos flourishing under Cuba's friendly government. But Michael watches a rebel sacrifice himself rather than surrender. That courage convinces Michael the Cuban government may soon collapse. Fredo arrives carrying the money and denies knowing Roth's aide Johnny. Michael welcomes him, yet carefully remembers that nervous denial. At a nightclub, Fredo accidentally says Johnny recommended the place. The small sentence proves Fredo lied and helped Michael's enemies. Michael kisses his brother and says Fredo has broken his heart. At midnight, Cuba's president resigns as revolution fills the streets. Michael's men kill Johnny but fail to finish Roth at the hospital. Fredo runs from Michael in panic and disappears into the crowd. The Cuban business dream collapses before the money ever changes hands. Michael returns home colder, angrier, and more suspicious than before. He learns Kay lost the baby while he was away. Even grief becomes another fact he tries to control. Tom urges patience, but Michael sees patience as dangerous weakness. Fredo is eventually found and brought safely back to Nevada. The reunion looks gentle only because Michael's mother is still alive. The film shifts again to Vito's younger life in Little Italy. Vito, Clemenza, and Tessio steal expensive dresses from delivery trucks. Fanucci demands a share, assuming fear will make them obey. Vito studies the bully and notices nobody truly protects him. He convinces his friends to let him handle Fanucci alone. During a crowded street festival, Vito follows Fanucci across the rooftops. He enters the man's apartment and waits in the dark hallway. Vito shoots Fanucci, takes back the money, and dismantles the weapon. He drops its pieces into separate pipes before returning downstairs. Fireworks bloom as Vito holds his baby and promises protection. His violence appears controlled, useful, and wrapped in family love. That is exactly what makes his rise so seductive and dangerous. In Michael's timeline, government investigators now close around the family. They summon Michael before a televised Senate hearing on organized crime. Willie Sicily describes the family's structure but cannot directly condemn Michael. The real threat is Pentangeli, who survived and agreed to testify. Michael first confronts Fredo, demanding everything he told Roth's people. Fredo says he wanted respect and believed the deal would help him. He resents being the older brother who receives only minor errands. Michael tells Fredo he now means nothing and must stay away. Then Michael quietly orders that Fredo remain safe while their mother lives. At the hearing, Pentangeli prepares to expose Michael under oath. Michael enters with Pentangeli's older brother, brought silently from Sicily. No threat is spoken, but the family message is perfectly clear. Pentangeli suddenly denies every statement he gave to federal agents. The committee suspects intimidation, yet its strongest witness has collapsed. Michael wins the hearing, but his private life finally breaks open. Kay tells him she will leave and take their children. Michael promises the family will become legitimate, repeating an old promise. Kay reveals her lost pregnancy was not an accidental miscarriage. She chose an abortion because she would not continue Michael's violent family. The confession attacks the future Michael believed he controlled completely. He strikes Kay and refuses to let her take the children. Michael protects the family name while shattering the actual family. Years earlier, Vito's reputation has now spread through the neighborhood. He creates an olive oil company with Genco as its public face. A widow asks Vito to help when her landlord threatens eviction. Vito speaks softly, and the landlord initially laughs at him. After learning Vito's identity, the terrified landlord reverses everything. He lowers the rent and even allows the widow's dog. Vito gains loyalty by mixing genuine help with unspoken fear. His community grows stronger, but it depends on his personal power. The film later brings Vito and his young family back to Sicily. He visits the elderly Don Siccio under the cover of business. Vito identifies himself as the son of Antonio Andolini. Then he kills Siccio, completing the revenge predicted decades earlier. Vito escapes and shows baby Michael how to wave goodbye. The child cannot know what that act of vengeance will eventually cost. Back at Lake Tahoe, Michael's mother dies and removes Fredo's protection. Connie begs Michael to forgive their frightened, grieving brother. Michael embraces Fredo, appearing to welcome him back into the family. Across the room, one glance tells his enforcer the sentence remains. Tom visits Pentangeli in federal custody for one final conversation. They discuss ancient Roman rebels whose families were spared after suicide. Pentangeli understands the offer and later dies in a warm bath. Roth is refused sanctuary abroad and returns to Miami under guard. Michael sends a gunman who kills Roth at the airport. These deaths erase witnesses, rivals, and unfinished business at once. Only Fredo remains, spending peaceful days fishing with Michael's son. Michael waits until the boy is called away from the boat. Fredo says a prayer while the small fishing boat crosses the lake. An enforcer shoots him, and the sound echoes across the empty water. Michael has murdered the brother he once promised to protect. He has also removed the last person who remembered him before power. The story ends by looking backward to December 1941. The Corleone children wait at a dinner table for Vito's birthday. Young Michael announces that he enlisted after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Sonny explodes because Michael chose without asking their father. Fredo supports Michael, showing the gentle loyalty that once joined them. The family rushes to greet Vito when he arrives home. Michael remains alone at the table, already choosing a separate path. In the present, older Michael sits alone beside the cold lake. Vito used crime to build a home from absolute isolation. Michael used crime to defend that home until nobody remained inside. The two timelines finally reveal the film's deepest and cruelest mirror. Power can protect a family for a moment, then consume it forever.